There is a new medical buzzword being used on social media right now to describe an increase in pediatric pneumonia cases all across the country. But is white lung syndrome something parents really need to worry about? I spoke with Dr. John Scherner, a pulmonologist and chair of medicine at MedStar Washington Hospital Center. Our conversation is what's going around. What is white lung syndrome? I know it's not a medical term, but we have been hearing it a lot in the last few weeks.
And we have, and you're right, it really is not a medical term. You won't find that in any of the textbooks or any of the references. It's a term that I think is being used to describe increased incidence of pneumonia, particularly in areas like Ohio and then some overseas locations as well.
And Dr. Scherner, we're seeing it, as you mentioned, an outbreak in Ohio, some in Massachusetts. There's also been an outbreak in China. I know some parents are maybe concerned there's a connection. The CDC came out recently and pretty forcefully said there's no link. But why do we see this time of year an apparent outbreak?
Yeah, so I think that, as you said, the CDC has been pretty clear there's no connection with anything overseas. I think a lot of this is just the seasonal variation that we see with infectious diseases. This time of year, particularly coming on the heels of the pandemic, people are more fully engaged in doing things. And then as the seasons change, people move indoors more, have more close personal interaction, and that's how most infectious diseases spread. So that probably accounts for the increase that we're seeing. It's really not anything out of the norm at this point.
We're hearing, with the outbreaks in Ohio and Massachusetts, more pediatric pneumonia. Is it more common for this time of year to kids to get pneumonia, or is it adults as well?
I think it's everybody. It's just a seasonal variation of some of these infections, and then certain infections, every couple of years will have kind of an uptick. And so it's not just kids. It can happen across the age spectrum.